If you're new here, welcome to this little portal into my daydreams. I'm Alexandria and I'm an artist and an equestrian living in my tiny home. And I share everything art, soft living, and of course horses. This year I've taken a lot of time getting out of my comfort zone and learning new things to help develop my art in the direction that I really want it to go. I think some of these tips can definitely help you guys. These are things that I wish I knew sooner. And while we go over these points, I thought it would be a cute concept to show you guys how I make my sticker sheets from start to finish, what the process actually looks like from creating the art to digitizing it and then making it into stickers. So yeah, you guys can follow along with that while I share these tips with you, or you can just listen to it as a podcast. So the first point is balance your roles as a creator to prevent burnout. This is something I struggled with very much this year. I'm sure you guys noticed I was pretty consistent throughout the year, but I was really off and on, and I found that I was just trying to do everything and being super overwhelmed by all the different tasks of being an artist. You're not just a painter or an illustrator, you're now a filmmaker, an editor, a graphic designer, your own marketing agent, your own business manager. Yeah, so you are a lot of different roles, and if you don't learn to balance those different roles, you will get burnt out. I was trying to do all of those things at the same time, all the time, and then getting super pressured and stressed when I couldn't uphold all those different roles, and then I just would get super burnt out and exhausted, and I mean reasonably so. That's a lot of different jobs in one umbrella. So learning how to balance your roles as a creative is going to be the thing that prevents burnout for you. One thing that's really helped me is breaking up those roles into chunks and the tasks that you need to do under each of those roles. And I will even title my day on my planner, like today I'm a filmmaker, today I'm a illustrator, today I'm doing admin work, and so forth. That way I'm not trying to do filmmaking, marketing, admin work, replying to everyone, and editing all in the same day. That is literally what I was trying to do all the time, every day, and I would just get burnout so fast. It was not efficient or productive in the long run. So balancing your roles as a creative is gonna be a very important thing for you to learn. And especially if you have other things going on in your day, like for me, taking care of the horses is a full-time job, care of the house, taking care of myself, like if you have kids, if you go to school, if you're a student. So it's just not efficient in the long run to expect yourself to fulfill all those roles every day consistently. It's just not. You're gonna get burnout. Don't do that to yourself. Number two, this is something that really helped me slow down and not make my creative work feel like work. Especially if you run a shop and you're trying to build your business, it can be really detrimental to your creative flow to suck the fun out of your art essentially, and putting all the pressure of this is something that you have to do, that you need to finish XYZ by the end of the day. Something I've really found is instead of saying I have to do this, reframed and I say I get to do these things. Oh, I'm so grateful I get to wake up and pursue my art. I'm so grateful that I get to film a video for you guys today. This is not something that I have to do. This is something that I get to do. And reframing that has helped me sustain keeping the joy in creating. I feel like the second you put all that pressure on your creative energy, it kills it. Reframing your mindset to this is something that you get to do. It's a privilege. And it really is a privilege. There's once upon a time I couldn't pursue my art. I couldn't consistently even create because I was working 10 to 12 hour shifts a day to live essentially. And I know a lot of people struggle with that. It is a privilege to be able to pursue your art. So even if you only have a couple hours a day to put aside to it, that is still precious time that you get to create. Point number 3, time blocking is a form of self-respect. This one I really just recently learned within the past month. I wish I started doing this sooner. And I guess technically I did learn of this concept when I started reading The Artist's Way, but I never actually like applied and committed to this strategy. It's really important to protect your creative time. So really time blocking those chunks off in your day that are just designated to creating. That is it. Sometimes I don't even have tasks planned for that time, but I just know that from this time to this time, it's my sacred creative time, and nobody gets to interrupt that. Nothing gets to interrupt that. I'm very disciplined about it. Like I said, it's a form of self-respect. You're honoring your creative time. One thing that I used to struggle with as well is I would forget to eat and then I'd start creating, and then it would literally ruin my creative flow because I'd start to get a headache, I'd start to get hungry, and it's really hard to focus and create when you don't have the proper nutrition. That time block as well, I'll make sure to have my water bottle filled up, to make sure I ate something before, or I'll even make charcuterie boards. Oh my gosh, that's like one of my favorite things. I love making charcuterie boards and then just having a literal snack plate that I can just snack on while making my art. It's perfect. Anyways, yeah, so having that time blocked off is really important because a lot of times you'll just get so swept up in life and you'll start to feel like, oh my gosh, I have no time for my art, I have no time for this. And the thing about creative work that I've noticed, it's time consuming. I've always been a person that I really feel like time is so much more valuable than money. I would rather make a lot of money so that I can have that sacred time to live, to create, rather than just having a lot of excess money to just spend on stuff. So I think there's definitely two different kinds of people. People either value their time more or they value money more. For me, time is so much more valuable. So blocking off that time that you can just designate and dedicate to your creative work is so vital and so important, especially if you're trying to grow your art into a business. Literally just put my phone away and I'll set an alarm when that time block ends, and I'll just dive into my creative work, not look at the time, not worry about rushing, not worrying about replying to anyone. I'll make sure that, I'll let my partner know that during this time, like, I need my me time to focus on this. So being communicative in that way and really just protecting that time that you need has been life changing for me. Oh my goodness. I wish I got that through my head sooner. I'm so excited for 2026, okay? Because now that I have unlocked time blocking, I'm gonna get so much done. And I just have like a running list of things I want to create, and I've been constantly feeling behind, and then I try to work them into my day as tasks, and then it inevitably leads you to burnout. It's not good. So hindsight is 2020, okay? Well, now I know, and now I'm sharing it with you guys, and now you know. Time blocking has been my best friend. Alright, so the fourth point is also really important, and it was a hard lesson for me to learn this year, and it also goes back into the last point that I had. You must first rest to recharge your light. So this sticker sheet is all about that. It started out by an illustration that I just felt really called to draw. I created it during a time that I was so burnt out. I was so burnt out, I was so exhausted, I was guilting myself for being behind. I wasn't giving myself the rest that I needed. Your creative energy is kind of like a well, and when you rest and you nurture yourself and you take care of yourself, that well will start to overflow and you can create everything you've ever wanted. But if you're constantly pouring from an empty cup into other areas of your life and then not taking the time to rest, give yourself the space to recharge, your light is gonna drain. Your light is gonna dim. I used to feel like it was kind of selfish to take that time for myself, take that extra rest. And I felt like it was selfish of me to not show up and not pour out of my cup for everyone and everything, even when I was exhausted. But the reality is kind of selfish to yourself and to others to try to pour from an empty cup. You can't really fully show up for other people when you're completely drained and exhausted. I have learned to set very strong boundaries around my energy and making sure that I protect my rest, setting boundaries with myself as well, because it's not just external factors, it was also me not giving myself permission to rest. And that is just as detrimental. Really learning to give yourself permission to rest, to not feel guilty for resting, and to understand that, especially as a creative person, it is essential that you are rested, that your cup is full and balanced for you to be able to pour out of it into your creative work, into others. You must rest to recharge your light. That is what this illustration and sticker sheet was inspired by. I hope that if you did or you do purchase one of these sticker sheets, that it will serve as a little reminder for you wherever you decide to stick it. These sticker sheets are now in my shop, and the link is in the description if you'd like to go check them out. Point number 5, community is so important. I recently really got out of my comfort zone and joined a few art communities this year, and that is also a big part of my intention with this YouTube channel, is creating a community for like-minded individuals, and I think that's so important. I recently started taking art classes, joined the local artists in my community, and it has helped me tremendously. I have learned so much from other people, and it's just been so healing to be surrounded by other people that think like you. It's such a safe space, I've learned. It's been so fascinating to learn other people's perspectives, helping each other apply different techniques to your art. I'm very much introverted, and most of the people that are in my life, like family members and stuff like that, are not really creatively inclined. And I've even had some people that I've been surrounded with that are, I'm sure we all have these kinds of people in our lives. The kinds of people that don't believe that being a creative person leads to financial abundance and success. Broadening your community, connecting with other like-minded people that are successful, especially the people that are doing better than you, you can learn so much from those kinds of people. Finding people that are doing things that you admire, because seeing other people do it is also a reminder that if other people do it all the time, you can do it too. And technically, nowadays in this economy, the only way you can really be successful is not by working a traditional 9 to 5 job of any kind. It's by being creative, it's by starting businesses, plural, creating multiple streams of income. If anything, being a creative person is an asset and a skill that you want to nurture. And that really goes into my last point, is removing doubt externally and internally. That has been a huge block. Literally, I think, put out a sticker sheet in the summertime. This is a little bit vulnerable, but I put out a sticker sheet in the summertime. Somebody that was very close to me was asking how I was doing, and I was telling them how happy I was. I just did my little shop drop and made a new sticker sheet and was sharing my art, and it just made me really happy. And their response to that was, well, you're never going to make any money from that. There's literally no point of you doing that. You're never going to be successful doing that. And because this is somebody that's very close to me, it really hurt. If I'm being honest, like, I tried to brush it off. I was like, okay, whatever, like, everyone has their opinions, but it honestly kind of hit me. Like, when random people, like, say, negative stuff, it really doesn't get to me, but if somebody, like, close to me says something like that, like, somebody I love and care about, and this was a family member, it can really fuck you up. Okay? Like, I'm sure you guys noticed, I have not had another shop drop since then. And it kind of like subconsciously messed me up. Like, it just kind of started reaffirming that self-doubt that I already had internally, and it was really hard to fight that. It was really hard to face that self-doubt. I just kept trying to create and power through it. It started to just plant those seeds of self-doubt where I'm like, is this pointless? Like, am I wasting my time? But the reality is, each channel never grows past the point that it's at now, which I know it will, but even if it doesn't, I will still be happy. Like, it makes me happy to show up and make these videos. It makes me happy to create in these ways. It makes me happy to inspire other people. I would regret it if I was on my deathbed one day and I never tried to pursue my art. That to me is terrifying. Only have this one life. Life is so fleeting. Do the things that you feel you're meant to do. For me, that's creating art. That's making these videos. That's making my little sticker sheets and sharing it with you guys. That makes me so happy. That's painting. It's working with the horses. Removing doubt. I had to put distance between me and that person. Best decision. Best decision. If that was a friend, I would have cut them off. As a family member, I put boundaries in place. But removing that doubt, especially while your art is in that vulnerable place and you're growing, keep that stuff private. Keep that stuff silent from the people that potentially put a negative impression on something that you haven't developed fully yet, that hasn't come to fruition yet. As they say, grow in silence. And I know that's hard too, because as an artist, you kind of have to like trust the process and keep putting out your work when it's a work in progress, when it's finished, but maybe it's not as perfect as you wanted it to be. A lot of us can be perfectionists, so you kind of have to share when it's messy. Like if you look at my videos when I first started, they were horrible. I didn't know how to film. I didn't know how to edit. There are still things that I need to work on with my YouTube videos that could definitely be improved. But you have to start somewhere, and a lot of creative work is by experimenting, is by learning, by doing. That is so important. Just addressing that self-doubt that you have internally, whether it's somebody told you when you were younger that being an artist isn't a real job. I know that's a common thing. Or just people that don't really understand, that aren't also creative and aren't like-minded to you. Setting boundaries with those people is really important. Surrounding yourself with a community of people that do affirm you creatively and seeing other people be successful at it. You can learn so much that way. I know I have. I really hope this video was helpful to you guys. I hope I didn't yap on for too long. But these are some things that I really wish I knew sooner, and if this can help somebody, give you a perspective that you needed to hear, that makes me so happy. Because these are things that I wish I discovered sooner. These are little things I'm going to be taking into this new year and applying to my creative work. And hopefully you guys will see my little world unfold so much more than it has this year, because I'll have these systems in place. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the new people who have joined my community. Comment down below if you thought this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!